Hi, I'm Sinner Racina. Welcome to my video. Alright, so the Kimochi is about to start, a few hours from now, maybe one or two at this point. So this is the Please Sapphire Lips Kimochi battle. What I'm going to do in this video is just try to give you like a general idea of what you can do with your team if you are, you know, new to the game or maybe don't have like the best units right now. So let's first check what's this Kimochi battle about. So it's Aqua attribute, so you're going to be needing Forest, which is gonna be the topic of this video. Has skills that apply status ailments on players, more on that later. Frailty state, where applying different types of status ailments on the Kimochi increases the damage dealt to the affected area. And changes from the last event, Frailty state has been adjusted to do more damage now. What happened on the last Kimochi battle of this kind, we were supposed to inflict, status conditions like it says in here, and that will make you deal more damage to the Kimochi, but that didn't end up happening as well as they expected. The adjustments they make somehow like weren't enough, so even if you inflicted a bunch of status conditions on the Kimochi, it wasn't doing anything to it at all. Like maybe a little more damage, but it was better to just spam Magia and, you know, nuke it. So let's see. Here's the team I'm recommending. If you don't have, 4 stars or better units than this is what you can get if you're a new player. And maybe you roll a few times in the gacha. So we have Anmeru, we have Konami, Kaede, Kako, which is gonna be very useful, and Miyako. Sorry, I forgot the names, but what I'm trying to do with this team is a Magia strategy, and I'm going to show you how you can pull it off. Again, just general pointers. You don't have to make a team exactly like this. Maybe you have, something else in mind, or you have better units. If you do, go for that. If you don't, hopefully this video helps you. Alright, let's see our equipment. Here we have our Memorias. In this case, I'm using stuff you could get from events, or you could get from just rolling on the regular gacha if you don't have too much time playing into the game. Maybe you started with the last anniversary, or maybe you started when the North American server closed down, which was close to the 3rd anniversary. So more than a year. Yeah, more than a year ago. Maybe 15 months, I think. So yeah, most of these memorials you must have at this point if you've been playing, the events, since most of them are gotten from there, or can be gotten from, again, the regular gacha. Maybe except I think this one you have to get a rank on mirrors, but the reason I put it there is because I didn't have anything else to put on. It happens sometimes. This is not the setup I'm going to use because I've been playing for a while, so I have better units. But this should do for, for a newbie or for someone who hasn't been as invested in the game. And let me tell you why. Alright, so let's start with Anmeru. Oops, sorry. There we go. Let's close this. There. So Anmeru has 2 Accele 2 Blasties, so we're going to be concentrated on the Accele because again, this is a Magia strategy. Her personal Memoria is called Divination Band, which could be useful to you. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Her spirit enhancements. Now, these aren't necessary, just the skills and abilities. But if you can go for it, go for it. If you don't, no need to waste your resources like that. You just need to unlock all of these things in here to, get a little boost, since most of the girls in this list have a lot of Magia damage up and Doppel damage up, MP boost, stuff like that. They are oriented towards that. Most girls are, but these ones in particular too. One of the interesting things about Anne-Marie is her redraw disc ability. Sorry, skill. Yeah. I always get confused with the skills and abilities. So yeah, these are skills and these over here are abilities. So yeah, her skill allows you to redraw disc on that turn. So let's say you got a bunch of shark disc and maybe some blast disc, and you cannot really make a combo with that, and you want to get more Accele disc going. You can try to redraw disc. What it does is just redraws a new set of random disc. You're taking a gamble in there, but it's better than nothing in a pinch. But that's not the reason we have Anne-Marie with us. Oh no. Also, her connect is okay. I think the only thing that is going to be of use is the attack up. You have to keep in mind that we are not here to kill the Kimochi. You cannot do that. I never seen anyone try that though. It's supposed to be a team effort. This is why the event is a raid. So let's go down and we see her Magia. So she inflicts damage like most Magias, but she also has a chance to poison, to bind, to darkness, and to skill seal. So the poison is guaranteed for 3 turns if you have her on cap at 5 stars. So I'm assuming for this video that you're at least all of the girls I show you, or the ones that you are going to use, are 5 stars, so fully on cap, level 100, and have at least all of these unlocked. That's what I'm assuming. The number of slots is not important, but of course I would recommend you have 4 slots on each one of them. It's not that hard. They are 2 and 3 stars, so you can get the slots if you need to. If you have a 4-star that is like only has 2 or 3 slots, yeah, you can go for that. But remember, you have less Memorias to use with that. I think the lower I can go is 3, unless the girl I want to use is only 2 and has something really useful that I could use. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll give you an example. So the bind, darkness, and skill seal sadly is not that high. You can increase it if you use no, not this one. This one. Let me close this. Status ailment resistance down. So yeah, it makes so increases the chance of the target being affected by status ailments by the percentage shown. Not many Memorias, as you can see, have that effect, but Anne-Marie's personal Memoria, which is Divination Band here, at least gives you a 10% for 1 turn. So hey, it's better than nothing. I already have it open. Alright, but you already see what it does, so I'm going to close it. That's Konami. There we go. And of course, if you use the Doppel, it's gonna be more damage and the effects are gonna have a better chance. So of course you want to go for Doppel. But I won't blame you if you cannot, gather enough energy, since you only have one girl that can draw abilities. That will be Kako. But I'll give you some tips on that too. Alright, so that was our first girl, Anne Maru. Let's move to the next one, Konomi. Again, Konomi has two Accele discs. That's what we want. We want girls with 2 or 3 Accele discs. Of course, 3 is the perfect choice, but none of these ones have that. So we are working with what we have. And the reason we want that is because the turns we're not going to be using, Kako's Accele draw. We are going to be hoping for this disc to appear. So the more Accele disc a girl have, the better chances we have to getting them during the battle. For a combo, I mean. And again, you need to have all of this. If you cannot, go for all of this, just concentrate on the MP boost and the Doppel Adepts, for this strategy at least. So, for example, we are not using Guard Adept nor Blast Adept. Also, we don't need Anti-Bind. Well, maybe we do, because, the Kimochi is gonna be inflicting a bunch of status conditions on you. But we need something like Fast Mana Up, and we also don't need the Regenerate Adept. The Fog Edge is a good option, just to, on the options, you inflict the status condition, you can inflict a little more damage on the Kimochi. And she has Fog, but only a 45% chance because it affects all the enemies, so that kind of sucks. But again, it's just optional. Now, Konomi is good because of her connect. Just look at this. Chance to Fog on attack, chance to poison, and chance to dazzle, and guess what? All of them are 100%. So of course you want to use that. As for the Magia, well, she has one interesting thing about it, and that's the Accele MP Gain up, because of course you want to gain more Accele MP. And again, the Doppel is just the same thing, but better, and also she regenerates. It also has the other effect that she regenerates 10 MP for 3 turns. Remember, the Kimochi is just 6 turns long, so keep that in mind. Now let's move to Kaede. Let's close this. Again, it's the same story. To Accele disc, a bunch of useful effects towards Magia and MP gathering, and she has 100% chance to Fog, so if you cannot do it with Konomi, you can do it with Kaede. Her Connect gives you MP gain up, so that's good, and damage up, of course, that's always good. The regenerate effects are not that useful for this battle, because remember, the Kimochi cannot kill you if you have, all of your... If you have the elemental advantage. I never seen a Kimochi, kill a magical girl if she's at level 100 and she's of the opposing element. So she had resistance to that. The only time I got a magical girl kill on the Kimochi Raid was, I think, on the last one. On the last Aqua Elemental. Because I was using a Magia team, but I was using Rika. Yeah, Rika. That's her name, right? The Fire Attribute girl. She hasn't been on cap yet, so she's level 80 and she's Fire Attribute. So, of course, a few attacks later, she was down. But yeah, never worry about the Kimochi killing you as long as you have the elemental resistance to it. And, a good level. So, her Magia, well, she does attribute strengthening damage to all enemies. So you always want to attack with her last. So let's say on the turn you have your Magia's charge, you attack with Anne Maru, so you inflict a bunch of status conditions, and maybe you attack with Miyako, which inflicts an additional status condition, and then you want to finish up with Kaede, since she's the one that hits the hardest. And also remember to apply fog to the enemy before attacking, or in this case using the Magia. And she also has Accele MP Gain up to everyone. So that's nice, and again, the Doppel is just the same effect, but better. Let's move to the next girl. Now we have Miyako. Now, here's the deal with Miyako. If you can, if you are like, if you have something else to use instead of her, go for it. Because she only has one Accele disc. So, you know, that may be a hindrance. The only reason I place her on the party is because, one, she can inflict a status conditions we don't have, which is stun. And two, the other options are less viable. One of them will be Yuma. I think it's... no, that's Itama. Where's Yuma? Oops, that's Yuna. Where's Yuma? Oh, sorry. She was right here. So, at first glance, Yuma may look like a good option. And maybe if you don't have anything better, she may as well be. But first of all, she's more defense oriented, and again, we don't need to survive that much during the battle, so Yuma is not gonna be that useful. She's a healer, and again, we don't need to survive. We can do that. We can do that without the need for a healer or a tank like she is. And well, her connect is, you know, defensive. We don't need that. Her Magia only hits one single target. That is bad for the Kimochi, since the Kimochi is multiple targets. So of course you want Magias that target multiple enemies. She damages one enemy, she has HP restore, status element resistance up, which is like the only saving grace she has, since the Kimochi, you know, it's supposed to inflict status conditions on you. And blast damage cut, which it's whatever. And the Doppel is just a better version of that, but we don't really need her. So let's go back to Miyako. Let's see. She has a skill quicken, which can help you if it activates. If not, well, sorry for you. Again, Doppel Adept, MP boost, the good stuff. But she's also, you know, charge oriented because she has to charge disc. But she also has a chance to stun on attack, so hey, that may stop the Kimochi if it isn't, you know, resistance to that. And chance to poison. Now, this is one of the reasons I don't consider her that useful, because we already have Anne-Maru and she inflicts poison with her Doppel. We don't really need an extra poison. Maybe if you want to hit a little harder with your Magias in between, you know, Anne-Maru charging and stuff like that. Maybe. And again, just chance to poison and damage up. Damage up is good and chance to poison is, well, okay. Her Magia has a chance to poison and a chance to stun, so of course we want the chance to stun. That's the thing we're interested on. And her Doppel is, you know, a better version again. I already talked about Yuma. Now let's go back here. As for Kako, Kako doesn't inflict status conditions on the opponent, but she has a very interesting thing, and you must already know about this. That's her personal Memoria right here. If you equip that, she's gonna gain Accele draw. So if you use it, you're gonna draw a bunch of Accele discs that turn. That's great, because that's what we're going to need. What we want to do is use her, draw the disc, charge a little Accele, and keep going from there. And maybe by turn 6, you have everyone charged with Doppel. But remember, you can only, if everyone here has their Doppels charged, you want to ideally use two of them on turn 5 and use the rest on turn 6, or vice versa. That's up to you, depends on how the Kimochi plays out, the Kimochi battle. What I would recommend is starting with Anmeru. That will be your first Doppel attack to inflict a bunch of status conditions. And then with Miyako or the other another girl you're using, and inflict more status conditions on it, and finally finish up with Kaede. I already told you that. So that leaves Kako and Konami. So in the 5th turn you may attack with Kako and Konami, and on the 6th turn you use the other 3. As for the formation, there is a bunch of formations in Magia Record, and you may not be used to those, like what they do and stuff like that. You can check the magical formations on the wiki. I'm gonna leave links to everything on the description of this video, so don't worry about that. This is the one I'm gonna use, the Grandeur Strike, but the only way you could buy it was on the Magia chip shop during the Yuna Hotori pickup gacha, so yeah, this was a one-time thing. I think from all of the formations they've been selling during events, they stopped doing it quite a bit ago. But I only missed one, and luckily it wasn't this one because it has Magia up and Attack up for 3 units, which again are gonna be Anmeru, Kaede, and Miyako. In case you don't have that, there are other options you could use. I don't recommend this one. Well, maybe because of the resist up. Yeah, it has status element resistance up. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I haven't checked. I only saw, the regain HP up, but now I'm seeing it has resist up. So you know what? Sure, go for this. This is also good. Oh, but it's only, during the Kurusu Alexandra story gacha. Well, if you have it, that's great. If you don't worry, there are more. Oh yeah, these are from the North American server. Let's go up, 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 up. Here we go. You can buy this from one of the shops, the regular ones. It just gives you a flat attack up. Again, attack up are always good, so yeah, you can go for that. These other ones are not what I would recommend, so yeah, if you don't have any of the other two, go for this one. The mirror shop, this is where you can buy them. Now, let's keep moving. I'm gonna give you some recommendations of girls just in case you have them. I'm gonna first start with the ones that you can get from the Unlimited gacha. And again, I highly recommend you that they have at least 3 slots. If they have 2, I'm gonna leave that up to you if you want to use them or not. And if they have 1, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really desperate or they have a really, really, really useful effect or magia or whatever. So let's start with Yuna with 2 U's. Because remember, the other Yuna is with just 1 U. She has 3 Accele discs, which is perfect for a strategy. That's always good. She has, of course, better stats than the other girls because, She's a 4-star. You will want to unlock all of this, and also if she has 2 or 3 slots, of course you want to unlock every other bonus you can. So in this case, yeah, if you don't have full slots, I would recommend doing all the spirit enhancements, not just the effects and skills. Now, speaking of skills, hers is one of the best ones for this Kimochi Raid. Status element resistance down by 65% for 1 turn. That's pretty great. If you use this and then attack with Anmeru's Magia / Doppel, you have a much better chance on inflicting, all of those status conditions that have a lower chance with Anmeru's Magia. You can combine this effect with Anmeru's personal Memoria to increase your chances, by the way. Why? Because it doesn't say chance. Remember, when an effect says chance, for example in this case chance to evade, that's a flat number. By that I mean that you only have 50% chance. If you equip something else that has, let's say, 10% chance to evade, this is not gonna become 25. This is gonna be still 15. But these ones down here that don't say chance, they accumulate, they stack on top of each other. The chance ones don't stack, but these ones do. So if this says 65% and the Anmeru's Memoria says 10%, that's 75%. If we go back to Anmeru, let's go down. If you add 75 to 25, that makes 100. So there you go, 100% chance to inflicting bind, darkness, or skill seal. Now I looked up if there was, something on the wiki that says if that's how it works, and I couldn't find it, but I'm almost sure that's how it works. If it doesn't, please leave me a comment and I will place something on the comments about it. But if not, this is how it works. No, let's go back. Oops. Sorry. Her connect has damage up versus enemies afflicted with a status ailment. So, of course you want that, and you want the attack up and the status ailment resistance up. You want all of this. So she has a pretty good connect for this battle. If I recall correctly, when Yuna came out, the next Kimochi was, the other Aqua Kimochi that was supposed to be affected by status conditions. So yeah, of course the game wants you to use her for that. So that's why she has all of these really, really useful effects. Now let's see her Magia. It only hits 1 target, which, it sucks. But she does attribute strengthening damage to 1 enemy. That's good. Status element resistance down for 2 turns. So for example, if you are using her instead of, let's say, Miyako, you could attack with her first and then, go with Anmeru to inflict more status conditions, and finally finish up with Kaede or something like that. I'll leave that up to you. Remember, during the Kimochi raids, you can use the mock battle option as much as you want to, try new strategies, see what affects the Kimochi, what kind of pattern it has, things like that. For now, we just know what we read over here. But yeah, you're always free to try out all of your strategies and your combinations on the mock battle. Just remember, don't let a whole day pass because you're going to, miss on some battles. And her Doppel again is just a better version of this. Oh, so she gets a bait, but that's whatever. We don't need that. Another option I'm giving you is Mami. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already have Mami. It's a fan favorite, was one of the first girls in the game, so it's pretty easy to get. Especially if you've been playing for a long time and somehow don't have better units. It happens. Maybe you stopped playing after a while and just came back to the game. That's okay. No, I'm not judging. Alright, so her spirit enhancements, pretty good for Magia. She has a chance on to skill seal, which is good. And she can bind. So remember, Miyako can stun, Mami can bind. Two different status ailments. They do the same thing, more or less, but they are two different status ailments. So those counts towards the damage multiplier. Her connects has a damage up good and chance to bind and chance to burn 100%. That's pretty great. Her Magia, damage all enemies, again chance to bind and chance to burn, it's a little lower, and also she reduces her defense. But which we won't worry about that. It's okay to lose defense for one turn. And somehow I didn't notice, but she has Squill Quicken on the North American server, like really? Really? Like damn. I wish ours had that. And here we have her Doppel, which is just a better version. Because she has... she doesn't, lose defense. And the status condition chances are a little better, but not by much. Alright, let's continue. Nemu is another girl I recommend. Again, 3 Accele disc, pretty great, and there's a high chance you'll already have her. She's Magia oriented like the other girls, so we don't have any problems with that. This is why I recommend Nemu. I have a Nemu of my own, but she only has... what is it? 2 slots? I'm still planning on using her, just because... well, there's like 3 reasons, but this is one of them. The Mirage Charm. Chance to charm, 1 turn, 50%, that's okay. But Dazzle 100% for 1 turn. Dazzle is a pretty good status condition to be able to inflict on this particular Kimochi. Because 1, it's a status condition, and 2, the effect. A unit affected by this status element has a 50% chance to miss its attack, and takes 100%. Takes an 80% more damage from the element it is weak against. So yeah, if you use this and just the same turn you start shooting up your Magias and Doppels, what do you guess is going to happen? You're going to inflict a bunch of damage on the Kimochi. Some girls have it via connect. If you have Alina Gray, maybe you want to consider using her. But she has what? 2. Okay, she has 2 Accele, so hey, she might be good. And she has strength and poison. I don't know if this is, if this is considered different from regular poison. I think it is, but I'm not sure. If someone wants to test that or already knows the answer, please let me know, please. Konami also has it with her Connect. Again, which is why we want Konami in our party. Karina and Alina, but they are fire attributes, so, Toka and Nemu, Holy Knight version also, but again, they are fire attributes. They are, right? Oh no, they are dark attribute. Well, that is not too bad. I was thinking on that other dual unit from Christmas, the one with Tsuruno. Some of the girls can inflict it via spirit enhancements. Again, Nemu can do it. And the other ones are less viable, so yeah, in this case, you want to go for Nemu. If you have anyone else which is a different element other than fire, if you don't have a better option, I will go for it. Just try to experiment with what you have. You get me? Magia, well, Holy Alina has it, but I wouldn't recommend Holy Alina. I mean, if you have her, that's nice. But she's a blast gorilla, and we are not in the need of that for now. But again, it's up to you what you put in your own party. Memorias, well, not many Memorias can inflict this status condition, which because it's pretty good. And I think from all of the ones in here, yeah, I think none of them are from the unlimited gacha. Let me see. For example, reason for involvement is from the event of. Let's see. No. It's actually, yeah, this one is actually unlimited, but it has a low chance. But again, you can solve that with Yuna, because Yuna gives you a 65% chance, and this is a 37, so that's over 100. Don't be misled by pinch is a chance, because it says it inflicts on oneself. Chance to critical hit 75%, inflicts darkness and dazzle and defense pierce. But this darkness and dazzle are inflicted on you. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's basically a gamble. There are, some cards that can negate the effects of the darkness and the dazzle, but yeah, it's not a pretty good, card. Not even when it came out. It's still like pretty much a high risk. And the Doppel Magia, Magia 2, it's basically the same as the other ones. Let's close this. Now, Nemus Connect, attack up, HP restore, and chance to dash on attack. Once she is fully ascended to 5 stars, it's 100%, so yeah, of course you want that. Her Magia is also one of the other reasons I want her. Oh yeah, by the way, the second reason was, the Connect, which is basically the same reason as the first one. So the third reason is the Magia, or the Doppel. Damages one enemy again, not very good, but give it time. Chance to charm. Okay, chance to curse and chance to darkness again. 3 status conditions. Attack up and remove granted effects. So, not many magical girls have removed granted effects, because it's a really powerful ability. It's only reserved for, the enemies. Of course they have them. That's just to sorry for being quiet. I was opening OBS to see how the recording was going, and it just froze, so I had to wait. I was just checking that everything is working correctly. Alright, so remove granted effects. Clears granted effects, yellow icon from the target. Granted effects from passive memorias are not affected, so yeah. Sorry for that. Toka and Nemu can do it. If you have them, maybe you want to go for them. Tsubasa has it from her Magia, but not many of us have Tsubasa. I played the Monogatari event, but I didn't roll for any of the girls, which is a mistake. sometimes feel bad about, but then I remember I at least got a unit from the event, so hey. Nemu has it, Ao has it, and Shizuka has it, but Ao and Shizuka don't, like, Ao at best inflicts, I think, neutral damage, and Shizuka, no. Just no. And from Magia Doppel 2, it's the same. There are no Memorias that have this effect. It will be pretty good to have it. And her Doppel is the same thing, but better. Let's move to the next girl. Now, we have Holy Mami anime version. If you've been playing this game, maybe you rolled for her, maybe you didn't. I didn't. Because it just felt pretty cheap, and I already have the regular Holy Mami. I don't recommend the regular Holy Mami for this event. She's supposed to be, based on inflicting status conditions and deal more damage because of that, but she's not very focused. This one is, though. So if you have her, yeah, of course, go for her. So to Acele, for some reason they didn't give her 3, which was kind of weird, but whatever. She has better stats, of course. She's one of the most recent units, so it kind of makes sense. Pretty good effects, especially the Mana Spring Aura. She starts with 70 MP at the start of battle. Yeah, of course we want that. That's pretty good. Remember that the MP carries over from one Kimochi battle to the next one in the same day. So if you start your first battle and end up with some MP, the second battle you're going to have that MP, but redistributed to all your magical girls to be equal. And same goes for the third battle. But the next day, it's gonna be reset. So always keep that in mind. Do not be misled. Her Magia cannot be sealed. So that's always useful. And she has specialized, Magia damage up to self returns and regenerate MP for 3 turns self. That's pretty good. Her Connect increases damage, chance to fall on attack 100%, and again, damage up versus enemies afflicted with status ailments. Yes, we want that, please. Magia. Attribute strengthened damage to all enemies. Thank you, yes. Forest attribute attack up to self for 3 turns, Magia damage up to self for 3 turns, regenerate HP, self 1 turn, and remove debuffs. All of this works pretty great in our strategy. So of course we want that if we can get it. And Magia 2, it's the same thing but better. Just look at that regenerate MP. Like 64 MP just for using her Doppel, or Magia 2 in this case. It's like so good. So let's move to another girl. Now, the reason I didn't include Mitama with Nemu and Mami and Yuna, these are unlimited. Remember that Holy Mami is limited. But Mitama is unlimited, but she's also, not forest attribute, so that's why I put it in here. I put her in here, sorry. She has 3 Accele disc. We want that always. She has a bunch of useful stuff, some MP boost, Magia damage up. And she also has this shuffle. Again, I already explained the usefulness of this shuffle. Could help you in a pinch, but it's a gamble. But you don't really lose anything from using this shuffle. You only get new disc. So it's really relative if the discs you got are good or bad. That depends on you. Her Connect, HP Restore, damage up versus enemies afflicted with status conditions. Again, we want that. And defense down. And, you know, the defense down on yourself. Well, on, you know, the other unit. It's not too bad. It's just 15%. You don't have to worry. Her Magia inflicts a bunch of status conditions. Curse, Poison, Magia, Seal. And she curses herself, but whatever. Also gives attack up to all allies for 3 turns. Of course we want that. And the Doppel is just a better version of that. If you have Mitama and don't have... Like, if you gave me a choice between, you know, Mitama and Miyako, I would place Mitama. Much better option. Also remember that Void Element girls inflict just neutral damage to any Kimochi, so you don't have to worry about inflicting less damage. Now let's move to Mitama, but let's call her New Year's Mitama. She only has 2 Accele discs, but she's better than regular Mitama, and let me show you why. If you have her, maybe you roll for her this past New Year. She was in the gacha. I rolled for her last year, and she has been pretty useful ever since. Of course, the gacha last year was much better, because the one from last year, they gave you the chance to, the free rolls to roll on one of the limited gachas. So I roll all of my rolls in her gacha and then use tickets. This year's wasn't so good. I didn't like what they did. It felt, you know, they were very stingy. But whatever. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you something. Her personal Memoria is gonna be of great help to us, because her personal Memoria has a Accele draw. So of course we want that. If you have her and Kako, that's a pretty good chance of, you know, charging MP. Let's go down, 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 down. Here we go. Again, a bunch of MP and Accele MP gains. Magia damage up, stuff like that. That's what we want. She has shield performance, which is attack up to everyone and damage cut self. We just want the attack up. Her Connect, HP restore, we don't need it. Attack up is great. And of course, damage up versus enemies afflicted with the status ailments. That's what we want. Her Magia, damage all enemies, chance to curse, chance to poison, and chance to Magia seal. I will highly recommend that, again, you uncap like all the girls you're going to be using, so their effects, you know, are better. And her Doppel, again, better version. I'm pretty sure most of you should have, you know, anniversary units. They are the cream of the crop. They don't excel at something. They are very good at... No, actually, I was saying it backwards. Sorry. They are not a jack of all trades. They usually excel at something. It depends on the unit. But in this case, Madoka Niroha is a very good MP battery. Let's go down. First of all, she comes with Accele draw as her skill. So you don't really need to waste any space on Memoria. So even if you have her at 1 slot, she's very good. 2 slots, it's good, it's excellent. And 3 and 4, it's ideal. And you know, she regenerates MP each turn. She inflicts... sorry, she doesn't inflict status conditions. But she has resistance to status ailments, which is always good in this case. Her EX skills. she has more damage on Magias and Doppels and has anti-Magia seal, which of course that's what we want. Her Connect has damage up, HP restore, not important, but the MP restore, that's what we want. At 5 starts, that's 30 MP to whoever she, connects to. Her Magia and Magia 2, also pretty good. Attribute strengthening damage, all enemies, that is not going to be useful for us. Blast damage up, charge attack up, but Accele MP Gain up, always welcome. Anti-debuff, of course we want that. She gives an anti-debuff to everyone when she's fully uncapped for 3 turns. Also gives barrier, which, it's always good for taking hits and HP restore. Her Magia 2, though, it's the same but better, and also she recovers 34 MP to everyone. So of course you want to always use Magia 2 with her, because you want to charge, especially last turn. If you're on turn 6, what I would recommend is, let's go back to this screen. If you're on turn 6 and don't know how to go from there, pick whichever 2 girls you want to attack with their Magias or Doppels, and just finish. The last girl should always be Madoka and Iroha if you have her again. So that way, the girls that just use their Magias or Doppels recover some MP for next battle. And remember, that affects everyone. So everyone benefits from this. Another unit I could recommend is Ultimate Madoka. Oh, wait, I forgot something to mention about Madoka and Iroha. She has another useful thing. This one, Anti-Magic Aura. She has anti-debuff for she gives 2 debuffs to everyone and also negates 2 status elements twice for everyone. 5 turns at the start of battle. The Kimochi only lasts 6 turns. So yeah, that's basically the whole battle, gives you protection against status conditions. That's great. That's what we want. That's why I highly recommend using her even if she's at 1 slot. As for Ultimate Madoka, well, what I like about her is that she gives blanket protection with her EX skill, status element resistance up. At 1 slot it's only 20%, at 4 slots it's 30%, and this affects everyone. And it's always active, so of course you want that. Her Connect gives damage up, status element resistance up, again, pretty good. It's 100%, so chance to survive, I mean, if you really need it. And remove status elements, again, pretty good. Her Magia 1 and 2 damages all enemies, gives everyone an attack up with all disc, and game on the Accele MP Gain, or on the Accele ones, and a damage cut. And the Magia 2 it's the same but better. For 3 turns, so. Oh, sorry. So that's all the girls I could recommend to you, or the ones that I am most familiar with. If you have any other recommendations, leave them on the comments. I'm pretty interested to see what the other girls can do. Or maybe you have another strategy with other elements. But let's keep moving. 2 Memorias I want to recommend that it's probable you have them if you haven't played for a while, because they are usually free. This one was given to the players who play the Dependence Blue event. Burn 100% and defense down to an enemy for 3 turns. The burn is just 1 turn. So, if you want to inflict burn on the Kimochi, I mean, if you have a free space, this is a good tech option. Another one I'm recommending is Night Boss Time, because it increases your Magia and also gives status ailment resistance down to the enemy. It's not too much, and it only lasts one turn. But hey, if you're going to, you know, shoot your Magia stat turn, yeah, go for that. And also, it's better than Divination Band. So if you have this, I would rather equip this to Anne-Marie than her personal Memoria, even if this is just at level 30. Because at level 30, the effect is basically the same. You only lose like 2.5% on the Magia damage up. But it's still better than 10% on the other one. If you have multiple copies of this, even if they are not, level 50, yeah, go for them. I would recommend them. They are exactly what you want for this event. Now, I'm only recommending these two Memorias. There's, of course, a plethora of Memorias you could use. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. This is one. Again, these Memorias I'm showing you right now, I got them, from the Unlimited Gacha or from events that happened recently. And when I mean recently, it's like 2021. Yeah, I think most of them were gotten on 2021. For example, in the case of this Memoria, I have two copies because, I played the same event twice. And I bought them from the shop. Was it from the shop? Or was it from... Sorry, I digress. I'm getting off track, sorry. But yeah, I'm just showing you an example of what you can do with the resources you have. This is not what I'm going to be using. I have New Year's Mitama and I have Madoka and Iroha Anniversary version. So I will be using those two and maybe Anne-Marie because she inflicts a bunch of status conditions, and Yuna. Yuna and Nemu. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my team. The Yuna I have only has 3 slots, but it's much better than what I have right here. But again, I won't blame you if you don't have her, that's okay. This is supposed to be for newer players. I'm just, giving you a basic idea of what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm gonna be using Yuna. My name only has 2 slots, but again, she's like, her effects are too good to let go. As for the formation, I think I'm gonna change this formation for the other one I show you. Where is it? Because it affects everyone and gives everyone this one. The Wild Paradiso. The Resist Up. And I think whoever I place in the middle, probably is gonna be Yuna. Yuna? How should I call her? Yuna? Well, whatever. I'm gonna be placing her in the middle because of this. Now, speaking of Memorias, if you're not sure what to equip, here's my tips. Go to the wiki and look for an effect. Let's say you want Magia damage up. Okay, you go to the wiki and look for that. Again, I will leave links on the description to everything I've been mentioning, so you don't have to worry about that. But just in case. Okay, here we are. Magia damage up. A lot of Memorias give you that effect. And it can be either active or passive. Active, it's the blue ones, and passive is the pink ones. No, sorry. I said it backwards. Whoops. Passive is the blue ones and active is the pink ones. Yeah. So yeah, passive abilities are ones that always stay with you. For example, I can make a serious face too, It's always at 12.5%. But something like Intrigue or Daily Life gives everyone 70.5%, but only for one turn. So you're going to be checking this list and compare it with the Memorias you own. And just based on that, Sorry. And just based on that, decide what you're going to be equipping. That's why what I'm showing you are just pointers. I don't really like have like a solid answer to what you can equip because I don't really know what you have. I mean, if I did, yeah, I may be able to help you, but I don't. So here we have let's take a Christmas miracle. I think you could get a copy on the last Christmas event. Or maybe not. Yeah, I think it was last year. But anyways, it has Magia damage up, Magia damage cut, and Magia damage up. It's pretty good. Also, another thing to check always when you are checking on any Memorias is if they have an additional effect or not. Here with you is just a solid 25% active all the time. That's why I have 2 of them equipped. And also because I only have 2. If I had more, I would equip them. But let's take another example. Let's say, where is it? Here. Prided Haregi. Hopefully I'm reading that right. So yeah, Prided Haregi is a 3-star Memoria, but also it gives you only 10% Magia damage up, but also gives you Accele MP Gain up by 70.5%. That's pretty good. So you're always going to be checking, this list and see what you need. And of course you can do that with any effect you want. Maybe you're planning on doing a team of Blast Gorillas with Holy Alina or something like that. Go for that. Just look Blast damage up and see the list. See what you can use. Another example. Oh, the Invincible Snacks General. This one gives you 20%. Now remember, the one with Ren gave you 25%, but that was the only effect. It also gives you a chance to anti-Magia seal, 100%. And you can bet your ass that the boss in the event and the Kimochi Raid is gonna be trying to Magia seal you. Because remember, it can place status conditions on you. And if it Magia seals you, that's it for you. So of course you need cards like this. That thing is really annoying. Let's go to the next screen. MP Gain up. Again, you're going to check it and do the same thing. Compare the effects, see what is better for you. In the case of MP Gain up, one of the best Memorias I have for that is actually from an old event. Where is it? It was from the Kazumi Magica event, but like, here we are. MP Gain up and MP when attacked by the weak element. Well, sadly we won't be able to be using this effect. But hey, 12.5% always active is a pretty good effect. Even if the Memoria gives you, weaker stats, because, 3-star Memoria, the effects are usually make up for it, so it's a trade-off. You have to decide, do I want maybe 500 extra attack, or do I want to have a better effect? That's up to you. But since we're going to be doing a lot of Magia, and they do a lot of damage anyways, I will go for things like this. But again, that's just a pointer. You don't really need to follow this religiously or anything. And oh yeah. So this MP Gain up. What this effect does, I'm sorry, actually I was on the right screen. Whoops. Let's go up. The target will receive more MP from all sources. The amount of MP gain is increased by the percentage shown. So yeah, all sources. This is one of the best effects for Magia teams. Let's take for example Holy Mami. It says that at the start of the battle, she started with 70 MP. She's gaining that MP. If you have MP gain up, like as a passive effect, she's gonna gain more. So let's take, let's go down. Let's say you have equipped, you don't have the Midsummer Beach. It gives you a 12.5. That will be like 8 more MP. So you will be getting 78 at the start of the battle instead of 70. That's always better. And if you add something like another Memoria, that effect is gonna be even more. So of course you want that. You're gonna gain like, if you have like those two I already highlighted, yeah, if you have those two, I think you gain a total of 90 HP. Yeah, I think it's 90 because this is 25%. Wait, 7 and 7, that's 14. Oh no, it's you're only gonna gain like 88 or something like that. Sorry, I'm kind of bad at math when I'm on the spotlight. I'm usually like okay uh doing math, but usually when I'm alone. Right now I feel like everyone is watching me. So yeah, and then you have Accele MP Gain, which it's good, but the other one is better. But still, if you can get this effect, of course that's what you want. It increases the amount of MP gain from Accele disc. Accele disc attacks by the percentage shown. The damage output of the attack is not affected, so it doesn't make Accele to hit more, it just makes you gain more MP. Just look at the Memorias, choose what you have, and compare it. Like maybe you have like a bunch of Memorias that have the same effect. Just compare like, okay, maybe this one gives me more MP gain, but also the effect it has on the secondary effect is not as good, but this one gives me, less MP gain, but it has a much better effect. Secondary effect, I mean. So, yeah, just experiment, see what works for you. Okay, closing thoughts. I think this is the end of the video. Yeah, I think I already told you everything I could tell you. And hopefully this will help you make a better team. And, score at least the rewards that the Kimochi Raid gives. They are pretty good if you're into the spirit enhancements, which you should be if you're planning on playing this game for a long time. But don't worry if you don't have these units, fully enhanced. I already mentioned that. Also remember, the origin vessels, the item we use to reset the spirit enhancements, are limited. You only get a few a month. So keep that in mind before you're trying to commit to a decision. I remember seeing someone who mentioned that they were resetting, their magical gear a bunch of times using origin vessels, but they were running out, and it's like, they are not supposed to be for that. You're supposed to be using them in case you screw up, like for real. Once you commit to something on the spirit enhancement screen, yeah, that should be like a big decision. And again, it's always recommended that no matter the gear you're using, you should always unlock all effects and skills before, concentrating on the stats. Because the stat increases are like minimal at worst. At best, of course, they are very good, but this is the real need of that. This is what you want. So check formations, check the Memoria equip, check on which gears you are going to do it, and check the amount of available slots they have. Remember to use mock battle, and if you have any questions, just be sure to leave a comment. That's gonna be all for this video. So yeah, anyways, enjoy the video, leave a like, have something to say, comment down below. One more, please subscribe. Is this video ending? You can bet it is. So I thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.